Hello guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about daily fears that someone with bipolar might have, especially the days that are extra rough. So the first two have to do mostly with emotion. So when you are in the middle of a high and a low, you are thinking about where you're going next and like how high is this next like upswing gonna go, or how low is this gonna go, and you kind of think about how manic or depressed you're gonna be even in a week, and you're kind of worrying about it. It's hard because you know that you've been there before and you don't exactly know how to stop it. It kind of just comes and does what it wants and turns around, and usually the farther you go in one direction, the harder you swing back in the other direction. So like you end up getting really manic, you lose a bunch of sleep, and then like a couple weeks later you're just as depressed as you were manic. Another part of emotion is attributing like normal emotions that anybody would have um to things related to bipolar. And this is not only something that you would do on your own, but I feel like whenever you're feeling a negative emotion, even other people around you are attributing it to your mental disorder and saying, oh, you feel so bad because of this, not because something bad is actually happening in your life. Throughout my entire life, it's been like I always think about where I'm at or what I'm feeling, and I almost always associated it with the place that I was in my mood cycle. So I'm like, I must be feeling really happy right now, not because like I deserve to be happy, but because I'm close to being manic. Or if I'm feeling more sad or stressed out, it's because I'm on the more depressed side, not because like I am in a rough part of life. I feel like for those of us that do have bipolar disorder, it can be like a pretty big accomplishment to be able to tell the difference and to kind of accept emotions as they come and not as something that you should fight against because it is part of your mood cycle. Another thing that comes with feeling all these things is wondering if it'll ever go away or if it'll get better. So if especially when you're really depressed, you kind of don't really see yourself getting out of it, or it'll last so long that like it'll be basically unbearable. You feel bad and you expect it to go on, and you know that when you get out, it's probably going to take you high, and then you're going to be back here again. And it's hard to remember a time where you just felt stable and ready to basically accomplish anything, you know, and not have your manic swings or depressive swings get in the way. And another problem with having these swings is not just wondering when it'll change or go away, but also regretting the things that you did. Especially when you're manic, you end up doing things that you wouldn't have normally done. And then when your mood goes back down, you start to see exactly what you did, and you regret a lot. Usually for me, it's like doing things with other people or in front of other people that I never would have done and that I regret. Another fear that kind of goes along with all this is like taking medication and feeling the side effects and wondering if you'll ever be able to be off of it. I remember when I was younger taking medication like every day, just seeing it there or having to take it every morning or every night just made me feel really bad about myself. And like it was partly because I think I hadn't fully accepted that I had to deal with this forever. And so taking it kind of reminded me of that and how I really just didn't want to be like this. So it was hard. And that was a thing that I felt every day when I took them. I mean, now it's a lot better, and I'm thankful for that because I think in general I am more stable and I think about just everything that I'm talking about a little less. But there are still times when I think about everything. Yeah. So there's also this aspect of paranoia. It's not there for everyone, and it actually wasn't like every day for me either, but there were times when I felt like I couldn't trust people around me, or like people who were messaging me that I didn't know had like malicious intent, or people that I saw on the street were like directing their attention towards me and like trying to do something to me, or just when I'm in public doing anything, people talking or laughing around me, or talking about me or laughing at me. And it seems irrational when you like think back at it, but during the time that it's happening, it feels so real and you kind of get like super self-conscious and just kind of want to hide away and not be in public. So that happens sometimes to people. The last two things kind of go hand in hand. It has to do with like interactions with other people. So one is, when you're going through these mood swings and having like severe manic or depressive episodes, people around you do worry about you, and you worry about worrying them, and you try to hide things from them or try to not tell them everything so they don't like feel as hurt, I guess, or anything by something that's happening to you. Um, you also like the things you do what or say when you're manic or depressed like sometimes don't reflect your true feelings. So when you're manic, you can get like unreasonably upset with someone and say something to them, and it definitely affects your relationship with them. And if they don't know you very well or how your swings work, they might take it more personally than they should. I mean, it's not their fault that they're taking it personally because you did say it that way, but if they don't know about your mood swings, they can take it personally when they would do better not because you didn't really mean it. Or when you're depressed, you kind of push people away. And it kind of becomes maybe a little exhausting for other people to try to figure you out and know when you are manic or depressed and what to expect and how to treat you accordingly. And it can be hard. um I've noticed people around me kind of like when they haven't seen me for a while, they're kind of being a little cautious, trying to see where I am before they start talking to me. And it kind of feels bad, but I mean, I can understand where they're coming from. And the last thing, I think this is one of the most important, or like the thing that worries people the most, is um, trying to figure out what they're going to do in the future, and especially with trying to find someone to settle down with, because as I was saying before, relationships with other people and how they have to like kind of adjust to your mood swings and stuff, it can be hard to create a connection and find someone that is willing to try to understand you and, I don't know, is capable of it. Everybody wants a connection with another person, and it can just be really hard to kind of relate with somebody else and have them understand you. And also, as I was saying before, to like when you get upset and say things you don't mean or stuff like that, and they don't know, they can take it personally and it can start a lot of disagreements. And that's, I think, one of the big things. So I think in general, there are various things that I think about on a daily basis, especially before that, and usually negative things. And these are the things that I've talked about. And it's hard to get through these fears, and they don't really start going away until you start dealing with accepting where you are and what you have to deal with. And it kind of comes with that. Trying to deal with these things go hand in hand with each other, and it's just a whole process. So any of you watching this and having these fears, just keep working. It'll get there. You can do it. So that's it for this video, and I will see you guys later.